Barack Obama became famous through a unique combination of personal resilience, intellectual brilliance, political timing, and a gift for inspiring communication that resonated across generations, beginning with his birth on August 4th, 1961, in Honolulu, Hawaii, to a Kenyan father, Barack Obama Sr., and an American mother, Ann Dunham, whose interracial marriage was unusual and still controversial in parts of the United States at the time. And his early years were shaped by a mix of cultures, as he spent time in Hawaii, Indonesia, before returning to Hawaii to live with his grandparents, where he attended the elite Punahou School, and as a young man, he wrestled with issues of identity, race, and belonging. Experiences he later wrote about in his memoir, Dreams from My Father. And after graduating from Columbia University in 1983, he began working as a community organizer on the south side of Chicago, where he developed the skills in grassroots activism, listening, and leadership that would later define his political style. And he eventually enrolled at Harvard Law School, where he became the first Black president of the Harvard Law Review, a historic achievement that drew media attention and marked him as a rising star in law and politics. And after graduating, he returned to Chicago, teaching constitutional law at the University of Chicago while continuing his community work and entering politics, first running unsuccessfully for Congress in 2000, but gaining valuable experience. And in 1996, he was elected to the Illinois State Senate, where he built a reputation as a pragmatic progressive, able to work across the aisle, focusing on issues like ethics reform, healthcare, and poverty. And in 2004, his career took a dramatic turn when he ran for the United States Senate and won a landslide victory. But the true breakthrough came in July 2004, when he delivered the keynote address at the Democratic National Convention in Boston, a speech that electrified the nation with its call for unity, hope, and the idea that there is not a liberal America and a conservative America. There is the United States of America. A line that catapulted him into the national spotlight and made him a household name almost overnight. And as a U.S. Senator, he continued to build his reputation by opposing the Iraq War, advocating for transparency in government, and focusing on issues that connected with everyday Americans. And by 2007, he announced his candidacy for president, a bold move that many considered unlikely given his relative inexperience and the fact that he was running against established figures like Hillary Clinton, but his campaign harnessed the power of grassroots organizing, digital technology, and an inspiring message of hope and change we can believe in, attracting millions of young voters, independents, and people who had never engaged in politics before. And despite skepticism, he won the Democratic nomination and went on to defeat Republican nominee John McCain in the 2008 presidential election, making history as the first African-American president of the United States, which instantly cemented his fame worldwide as a symbol of progress and possibility. And his presidency from 2009 to 2017 was marked by major achievements such as the Affordable Care Act, the killing of Osama bin Laden, the recovery efforts after the 2008 financial crisis, the legalization of same-sex marriage during his time in office, and his steady, eloquent presence during times of national crisis, and even amid criticism and political opposition. He maintained remarkable popularity both in the U.S. and abroad, helped by his charisma, calm demeanor, and ability to connect with people across different backgrounds. And his post-presidency years have only extended his fame, as he and Michelle Obama became cultural icons, publishing best-selling memoirs like A Promised Land and Becoming, producing documentaries and films through Higher Ground Productions, and continuing to inspire future generations through leadership programs, speeches, and philanthropy. So ultimately, Barack Obama became famous not through one single moment, but through a life trajectory that combined his multicultural upbringing, his academic excellence, his commitment to social justice, his electrifying ability to speak to people's hopes and dreams, his historic 2004 DNC speech, his groundbreaking 2008 presidential campaign, and his transformative 2 terms in office, which together made him one of the most recognized and admired figures in modern history.